The Colonel Robert D. Heinel Jr. Award for feature writing goes to Ms. Hope Hodge Seck for her article, Left Behind. Without security, without citizenship, interpreters are exposed to death squads, published in April of 2014. The story highlights the brave Marines who work to save their interpreters in keeping with their belief, never leave a Marine behind. The Sergeant Major Bradley Castle Award recipient goes to previous Daily Award winner, Sergeant Reese Lauder, for his photo, Let Sleeping Dogs Lie, a photo of two Marines and an IED detection dog named Blue resting during combat operations in Afghanistan. The recipient of the Major Megan McClung Award for a distinguished example of reporting by an individual covering Marines abroad is Ms. Gretel Kovac, military affairs reporter for the San Diego Union Tribune, for her body of work produced while deployed with Marines in Helmand Province, Afghanistan. The articles are titled Last Marines Leave Helmand Province, Camp Leatherneck Goodbye, Marines Depart Sangin, Leaving Afghans in Charge, and Marines Press Attack Amid Drawdown. The Brigadier General Edwin Simmons Henry I. Shaw Award for superior historical scholarship by a public historian goes this year to Mr. Paul Westermeyer with the Marine Corps History Division for his publication, Liberating Kuwait, U.S. Marines in the Gulf War, 1990-1991. This is a product of years of research and writing and provides a complete account of Marine Corps activities during Operation Desert Storm. The General Oliver P. Smith Award recipient, who is also our Castle Award winner this year, is once again, Sergeant Reese Lauder for his article, Remembering Greeley, the Marine who carried his flag to Iwo Jima. The Colonel John W. Thomason Jr. Award for Excellence in Fine Arts or Applied Arts in depicting the historic or contemporary Marine Corps goes to Mr. David Paul Vanell for his series of sculptures, First Wave, Joe Foss, Overwatch, Overrun, and Mad Minute. The recipient of the James Webb Award for Fiction is author and Marine veteran Mr. Phil Cly for his book Redeployment, a collection of 12 fictional stories about the war in Iraq, which also received the National Book Award. The Sergeant William Gnaust Award recipient is Sergeant Tammy Heinlein for the video Letters, a hero's journey to the Medal of Honor about Corporal Kyle Carpenter.
As they said bye to me at the hotel that I stayed at the night before we drove to Parris Island, they were upset. I think we were all just kind of understanding that we didn't really know what was in store. I took my time in telling them bye, and I reassured them that everything was going to be okay and I was going to do my best. And we didn't know what was going to come, but as we always have been. We're going to be there for each other.
This is Recruit Carpenter. I've arrived safely at Parris Island. Please do not send any food or bulky items in the mail. I will contact you in 7 to 9 days by letter with my new address. Thank you for your support. Goodbye for now.
Okay, this is August the 9th. Hey everybody, how are things in South Carolina? I can't believe I am finally here. Let me just give you some details of Northern Marja. It gets about 115 to 125 during the hottest part of the day. Haha, it's kind of cool though, even though it's really tough and hot, we are all going through it together. Time is actually passing pretty quickly here. I don't think it is for you, but I hope so. I miss Sadie. Tell everyone thank you for thinking and praying for me. Tell them I'm doing just fine. Before I forget,
It's a weird feeling hugging a loved one for the last time and stepping onto a bus off of American soil and not knowing if you're ever going to return to give them another hug or tell them you love them. So as we pulled away out of the parking lot, it was just, we knew what our job was and where we were going and the risk involved, but it's still very hard and very surreal.
We were at church, and after church, we had gotten word that Nick, Kyle's buddy that was on the roof with him, had been injured. And so we knew that they were together all the time. You know, they would stand post together. And we never check our answer machine and on our home phone. And so I went over there and punched the answer machine, and the message was on there.
Tuesday, 12:09 a.m. Yes, this is Gunnery Sergeant Target, United States Marine Corps here in Quantico, Virginia. Sir, ma'am, if you would, if this is James and Robin Carpenter, please give us a call at your earliest convenience or as soon as you hear this message. Our number here, folks, is
Robin
1-800.
was very upset, and I knew that I had to be strong. Okay, I had to, you know, start coordinating the travel to get up to Washington and just be strong for the entire family. I had to kind of prop them up, and you know, nobody ever saw me cry, but they didn't see me in bed at 2 o'clock at night either.
I remember opening my eye and I was on the 5th floor, the recovery floor at Walter Reed, and it was around Christmas time. And the first thing I saw in my first memory was looking up at my hospital wall, and I saw Christmas decorations and stockings that were hung. And so my first memory of waking up from being in Afghanistan was, yep, my mom definitely hung stockings on my hospital wall. She took over as absolutely my caretaker when I was injured. And from the moment I opened my eyes, she hasn't left my side since, and there's just not really words. I mean, she's my mom. I love her more than life itself, so.
This card reminded me of you so much. You always had a cape on. Batman, Spider-Man, Superman. That's what you are now, Superman.
I wasn't surprised at all that she kept everything. My mom's done a great job, and as far as the letters go and all that kind of combined, I'm just glad we have it, and I'm glad we have those memories to always keep and share. I'm glad we have those things to look back on and have those memories, and obviously we'll always keep that. So, you know, there'll always be things that'll be forgotten and be history, but I'm just glad we have it, and I'm glad we have those memories to always keep and share.
Somebody had called Kyle on, I believe, Thursday, and they told him that the president would be calling on Monday. You know, the phone rang at 1:35, and it was, you know, a lady on the phone, and she just said, you know, Kyle, is this Kyle Carpenter, and can you hold for the President of the United States?
Yes, sir. Fine, sir. How are you?
Well, I'm doing just fine. It's my pleasure to let you know that based on the recommendations of the Secretary of the Navy and Secretary of Defense, I've approved the award of the Medal of Honor for operation Enduring Freedom. And
This isn't changing us, just good old family from middle of nowhere, South Carolina. So, you know, we're still the same people. Obviously, the spotlight is on us right now and will be for a while. But when it all comes down to it, I raised my right hand and I went over there knowing the risk. And, you know, I'm proud of what I did, but that doesn't define me. I'm more proud of just being a Marine. Right now I'm in school and I'm just a normal college student, and that's what I'm going to keep doing for next 3, 4, 5 years. I wanted to be a Marine first while I could and while I had the opportunity and while my body would allow it. So I did that, and now it's just looking forward, and I'm going to just try to impact the world and the people around me in the most positive way I can, and try to be a good person and do good things.
Pretty cool, your brother getting the Medal of Honor. Price? Yeah, Paul, it is. We're very proud of you, son.
Dear Kyle, well, it's crucible time. Can you believe it? I know your days have been long, but I know in some ways you can't believe you have made it this far. I have really been thinking and praying about the crucible. I know you are ready. To think how you will feel at the end of those 54 hours. What you will have accomplished in that amount of time will be what most people do in a lifetime. You should be so proud of yourself. I know you will use every single aspect of everything you have learned. What an awesome feeling to see your sense of accomplishment. I read all the events are named after Medal of Honor recipients, and that the drill instructors will take the time to read the citation of the award. I can't imagine the emotion to hear about the ones that have gone before you. On that final march, every step of the others that have gone before you, you will think of them. You will have done something so awesome that so few have done. You will remember that march the rest of your life.
In addition to the medallions they are wearing this evening, each award recipient received a commemorative brick that will be placed in Semper Fidelis Memorial Park, and in some cases, a cash award was made. Would all of our awardees please stand and be recognized? Thank you once again, individually and collectively, for your superb and lasting contribution to the preservation and promulgation of the history of our Corps. Please note that you can visit the Foundation's website at marineheritage.org for further information about each award, with links to the articles, photos, videos, and poems. Please continue to enjoy your dinner, and Clint, don't despair, I will be back. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, you can mess with me, but you can't mess with General Boomer here, so if I would ask you to please take your seats. We will now move on to the next part of our program this evening, and I am honored to have standing with me the chairman of the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation Board of Directors, General Wolf Boomer, who served as the 24th Assistant Commandant of the Marine Corps. General Boomer, I invite you to present the Heritage Award.
What a magic evening. This place brings out something, doesn't it? So wonderful to see you all here. Everyone's been recognized, so I won't go through that again. I have a very special duty tonight, and I'm very honored to present the Foundation's Heritage Award this evening. The award is presented to an individual who has provided unique and significant service to the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation in the fulfillment of its mission. Tonight we honor a very special person. Now, some of you in the audience may not know her. You may not have heard of her before tonight. But for those of us who are or have been in the Foundation, she is and has been one of the most important persons in this organization for the last 25 years. You know, every organization has what I call its Rock of Gibraltar. They are rock solid, enduring, they get the job done. Always dependable, loyal, and yes, indispensable. Tonight we present our Heritage Award to our own Rock of Gibraltar and more, Mrs. Susan Hodges. But I've got more to say about this lady. So please take your seats. After her husband retired from the Marine Corps, their family settled in Montclair, Virginia. Susan joined the Marine Corps Heritage, then Marine Corps Historical Foundation in 1990. She was the only paid employee when the offices moved from the Washington Navy Yard to a small office in the Marine Corps Association building, where she kept track of donations in a notebook. She was promoted to executive director in 1996 and vice president of administration and finance in 2006. Now, she since, as the foundation grew, turned over the finance piece to Neil Armstrong, but in Susan's case, titles don't mean very much. She is General Blackman's and the staff's default button. She knows anything and everything about the foundation. You don't know this? Ask Susan. You don't know that? Ask Susan. She serves as Personnel Director, Office Manager, Administrator of Grants and Fellowships, Awards, National History Day programs, as well as liaison to the U.S. Marine Band and the museum's teacher in residence, and on. She is a wise lady, one we turn to when we just need some guidance or just to be pointed in the right direction. More important than all of this, however, is her loyalty to and her love for this foundation. She got us through tough times when the foundation struggled to even meet its payroll. to spearheading and helping guide the awards program until it has become what it is tonight. I have presented this award before, ladies and gentlemen, but I've never been any prouder to present it to the recipient tonight, Susan Hodges. I get to do this.
When I watched my husband, Jim, receive his commission as a Marine Second Lieutenant, it was May 1968. I could never in a million years have imagined what the next 47 years held in store. He served 24 years on active duty. We moved 17 times. I followed him around the country and raised our two daughters, Deb and Gretchen. 2 years before Jim retired from active duty, I joined this organization. I've met wonderful, interesting people, both in and out of uniform. I've grown personally and professionally because early on, people like Lieutenant General Phil Shuttler, who unfortunately is not here tonight, encouraged me to take on a broader range of responsibilities and gave me the confidence I needed to succeed. There's been a lot of hard work, but an equal measure of fun, mostly because I've been very lucky to work with a family of fellow staff members who believe in teamwork and mutual support. It's been wonderful to bring my 6 grandchildren to Nana's Museum and watch over these past almost 9 years as they've absorbed the message within its walls. The love of Corps and country, the brotherhood, pride, honor, and sacrifice portrayed in its galleries. And to know I had a role in its creation. I have a job I love, and the Heritage Foundation is the icing on the cake. Thank you very much.
Now, I could not move on without saying something about Susan as well. Someone who is very special to me told me when I was the XO of 8th Marines that there were 2 types of leaders in the Marine Corps, and both were similarly successful. There are those who play